I wrote this book because I wanted to clarify the importance of theater on my work as an architect. It is not a book about theater architecture, it's about the experience of architecture. I believe that architecture is beyond just form giving. I don't think the purpose of architecture is to make things. I think the purpose of architecture is to create experiences for the public. So I began life professionally as a scene designer in my own mind. I thought that that would be a wonderful future. The reason being, in the 50s, architecture had become close to something that was formulaic. There was no study or interest in the past in architecture. It was only contemporary stuff was possible, and the forms that were made and the systems that were chosen, purified by the modernists, were, from my point of view, a formula and boring. I wanted architecture to be richer than it was, and I found that richness in theater design, because the theater is unashamed of the past. The theater is a great continuity that uses the past in language and certainly in the visual representation on stage. And one of the great talents was Joe Melziner, who was a designer for all of the Rodgers and Hammerstein productions, Tennessee Williams, and it was an amazing moment in time. And the most important person was Joe, and I got to work for him. It was amazing to me. And even more amazing, he was put together with Eero Saarinen to design at Lincoln Center the Beaumont Theater. And I was just a kid who could translate between the two. They did not understand each other's professional language. And I was, in essence, the translator, which was a very heady position for someone so young. And in the process, I discovered I want to be an architect. What Eero was doing was so extraordinary. He believed that architecture was problem solving, and it existed in a world of ideas. That was far more interesting than anything that was happening then in New York theater. The future is going to continue to have and wrestle with this discussion of the traditions that we represent, because we're human beings, that being a human being is a long tradition, and the future activities. They're both important, and the struggle it takes to accommodate both, I think, will continue. So I think one has to keep a balance. Of course there has to be a future. Of course we're changing, and of course we're different, but we're still human beings.